Do you find it messed up?
That hate crimes exist? Yes. No, I'm kidding.
Wait, you don't find that messed up? What do you mean, no, you're kidding? What do you mean?
What were you saying?
No, do you find it messed up, like, all the people who have, like, watched stuff happen recently and recorded it, but, like, don't get involved?
Yeah, it's literally, like, the most annoying thing ever to me. So whenever there's, like, something going on, right? What is everyone, and I mean everyone's, first reaction to it? Oh, I gotta pull out my phone and record. And the reason for that is because people want to be internet famous, right? So they just want to, like, witness stuff going on, and they think they're, like, internet warriors and, like, social justice warriors that, like, really desperately need to record things that happen. And it's really annoying to me because it's like, if there's something going on, put your dumb phone away and go help them.
Or you can leave your phone recording and help.
Right.
If you really want to get
like, don't just be like, oh man, oh dude, that guy's getting like murdered right now.
So I am not saying I would do this, first off, okay? So I'm not being the guy who said, if I was on the plane, here's what I would have done.
Is you talking about 9/11?
Yes, and I've seen people do that a lot.
Okay.
Like, be like really macho about 9/11, like, I would have stopped them. It's like, okay.
I would have stopped them and landed the plane perfectly myself. It's like, what?
It's like, all right, buddy. But, like, imagine this scenario. Now, I am not making a joke out of this at all. The recent historical tragedy, I guess you'd say historical, because it will be, tragedy that just happened with a police officer. If that crowd had rushed the officer and pushed him off of the guy, I'm not saying hurt him, but like pushed him off of the guy and held him down, that guy would have lived. Now, I'm not saying one person, but I'm saying there were like 100 people there.
Yeah, and they're all just like, dude, oh man. And it's like, what?
Like, I understand that you could face consequences for that, but somebody would still be alive.
Right.
I think those consequences would kind of be worth it.
Right.
There was actually a case like that recently or not recently, it was back early 2000s where another police officer pushed a police officer off of another guy that he was killing.
Right.
And saved the guy's life. And then the police kicked her out, like, took away her pension and everything. They were such dicks about it because, like, she went against the badge by betraying that officer, even though she saved a guy's life.
Right.
So it was like, which, by the way, that's another thing that's stupid, is they have almost like a cult going on.
Right.
Like, they've taught these guys to be like cult members, where it's like, you disrespected the badge by not sucking off your fellow officer while he killed a man. It's like ridiculous. Like, if they would just create more individualism with that and also teach people like, hey, you should let cops do their job, but if you see something, you need to get involved. Like, if they're murdering someone,
right,
maybe you intervene, because this is a country that belongs to the people, right? So if you tell the people, shut the fuck up and get out of the way, and, like, we are a dictatorship, if you do anything, we'll shoot you, that's not exactly a for the people nation.
Right.
I feel like people should be able to get involved in that stuff. I'm not saying pull a gun on a cop. I'm not saying anything like that at all. But I'm just saying, like, you know, you see something awful or evil happening,
right,
you should be able to intervene and help.
Right.
And that should be encouraged, because, like, we should want, like, a nation of heroes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we should all take the LeBron route, actually,
and tweet about it?
And tweet saying, you're next to cops. I think that would be the correct approach, to win some points, if you will, with the community. You know?
But you know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm wrong on that. I'm just saying I think people should be able to...
Well, no, it's, you know...
Police the police. They're not gods.
You're right. And I think, like... So when I was a kid, one thing I kind of learned from... One thing I kind of learned that was taught to me was, like, if you see someone hurting or in need or whatever, you, like, just go help them, right?
Right.
Because they need your help. And some of my biggest regrets in my own personal life was I never stepped in and helped people when they needed it. You know?
You still don't. You're a selfish prick.
I don't. I am a selfish prick. We should do the mission, though.
Yeah, I agree. I just wanted to get that.
Okay, I understand.
Health.
Why do you have this guy?
Well, I mean, you know, it's about sending a message.
Okay, that guy has, like, a really ugly outfit on. You should kill him.
Oh, I thought he
He
had
deserved
money.
it. He deserved it.
All right, let's just. It said Ezio did not kill civilians.
Why does it cape like that? Did you see that?
So to keep in line with history,
I like it.
no, he did
there
not.
we go. What civilian? So yeah, anyways, so it's like, whenever I see someone in need of help, my first response is never like, oh, that guy's in pain and suffering. I'm gonna whip my camera out so I can post it all over the internet, and then I can become famous. Like, to me, that's like really disingenuous. And also, at the same time, I really find it hard to believe that like any of, like, this is gonna sound really bad, but I find it hard to believe that like when something goes on, right, and these people are like sitting around like, oh my goodness, I wish we could have done something, and meanwhile they're standing there just recording it. To me, it's like, do you really care, or do you just care about internet clout? Like, because that's how it comes across to me, is like, oh, well, this person's in pain and suffering, and instead of helping, I'm going to record it so I can post it online. And it's like, yeah, but the person now is suffering because you didn't help them. Or dead because you didn't help them, and instead you would have rather recorded the situation, posted online, so you can gain popularity on the internet. And to me, it's like really annoying, because if you look at anything, any situation, it doesn't even matter if it involves the police or anything, everyone's first response is immediately whipping out like 40,000 cameras.
Yeah.
And then they just stand there. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, to me, it's so annoying.
Ben trovato, Ugo. What's the trouble?
You and Rosa managed to escape from Seta, but the others were not so lucky. Emilio's captured them, and now they await execution.
Do you know where they're being held?
I know they're still in the district, but beyond that, no. You'll have to look for them.
I'll have your brothers back here in no time.
Okay, free the captive thieves from Emilio
I
Cortez.
actually agree with you, by the way. And my point was not that people should attack police officers. I hope that that's obvious.
Right, you should say, like, you're next.
No. I mean, like, I also think people should be allowed to help police officers. Now, not like
You want, like, citizens or... like a police officer's, like, brutalizing someone. You're like, yeah, come on, civilians, let's get involved.
No.
Is that what you're advocating for?
No, I'm saying, like, if you saw a police officer in trouble, right? Like, let's say you're a conceal and carry guy, and there's a cop getting shot at. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be able to help the police officer. I'm not saying, like, you're like, hey, let's follow Harvey Bullock here to the drug bust and help, like, murder someone. I'm saying, like, you should be able to help in this country. You shouldn't have to have a badge to contribute. And your contribution shouldn't only be able to be on Twitter from behind the anonymity of a screen name.
Right.
I'm just saying you should be able to get involved. And right now I feel like our country doesn't allow that. The only people who can get involved are like people committing a crime.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like if you get involved, it's like you're gonna get arrested. I think that's silly. Like, why is it not treated the same way as if I ran into a burning building to save a kid?
Right.
You know, like, would you want me to just stand there and be like, wow, looks like a job for the fire department. Sayonara, kiddo.
Right.
Or would
it's
you,
kind of silly.
Or would you want me to help if no one's around who can do it? Now, if you're getting in the way of the cops,
Sure.
I get it. You know, like, no, don't do that. That's bad.
Right.
Now, if you're getting in the way of them murdering somebody, like what just happened, I think that's kind of a good getting in their way. But if you're getting in the way of them doing the right thing or, you know, helping, right? Like, okay, when my dad had his heart attack, his original heart attack,
Yeah.
a police officer was the first one to arrive here because actually it takes longer for ambulances to usually get there because they're further away.
Yeah.
And there's more going on for them. Now, I'm not saying the police are lazy. I'm just saying, like, there's more that the ambulances are doing it usually.
Right.
So a police officer got here and helped administer first aid and save my dad's life.
Right.
So, like, I owe police officers actually a lot in terms of, like, having my family members still alive. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying about it is, like, you wouldn't be like, now hold on, officer, I got this, and like jump in and do CPR yourself if like the officer who's trained to help is doing it. That's getting in their way. But like, if they're getting hurt, or like let's say those crowds that have tried and succeeded in some cases to beat the shit out of cops, you know?
Yeah.
And cops have died recently.
Right.
Like if you saw like that happening, like a crowd gang beating a cop, you should be able to like pull out your gun and fire a warning shot,
right,
or something like that.
Or make like a citizen's arrest.
Actually, yeah, kind of. I'm not even memeing. That would be fine. In
Right,
that case.
right.
I mean, it's not like...
What if you make a citizen's arrest on the entire crowd?
What if I... with like a bat? Yeah, neighborhood watch is here.
Step aside, cop.
No, but am I wrong here? I wanted to fully explain
No,
what I
you're
was
not.
saying.
You're not wrong at all.
Well, I didn't want it to sound like, hey, let's get involved and help the cops. Like,
No, I like. I like the timing of yours. Or if you see a cop getting like, or if you see a cop like beating someone up, you should be able to help.
not help the cop. I mean, help the person.
Right.
Like, it shouldn't just be that the badge makes them immune to stopping evil.
No, I get that. It is kind of silly.
Like, imagine this. Imagine if you were a tourist in, like, the Middle East. This has happened, by the way. It's happened the other way around, too. And you saw, like, a U.S. Army officer raping a woman.
Right.
I'm not even making a joke. But you got involved and stopped it, and they're like, you're a traitor to the U.S.? It's like, well, no, that guy was evil. I don't care that he has...
That guy was the traitor to the U.S.
I don't care that he has, like, a military outfit on. And again, that's also why I say I respect the troops and they matter a ton, but you're not some freaking hero just for putting on the outfit. It's how you behave with it. There are people who absolutely dishonor this country in the military with their actions.
Right.
But, like, most of them are honorable men and women doing their best, and, like, really trying. And so I do think there's a lot of misguided... That's also, too, to what you said about nationalism the other day. I do think that there is a nationalism issue, though, with, like, police and military, where it's like, yes, there are the idiots, and they are idiots, who think that everything they do is wrong. Like, every time the military sneezes, it's like an affront to humanity, and God has, like, left us because the military made a move.
Right.
Or every time a police officer does a traffic stop, he's like a serial killer or something.
Right.
Those people are disingenuous morons, too. Like most people who are polar with their worldview.
Except for me.
Yeah, exactly. Except for you and extremism. That's okay.
Exactly, yep.
No, but, then there's also the idiots on the other side where it's like, they're all heroes. Nothing they do is wrong. If you die, you had it coming. It's like, well, now hold on here. Like, them getting the badge or the rank or anything doesn't make them immune to the law. They're enforcers of it, not, they're not immune to it. They're not fucking Judge Dredd here,
Right.
or the Punisher.
Right.
They're supposed to answer to it like everyone else and enforce it, not pervert it.
Right.
And I think a lot of nationalist attitudes ignore that on both sides. Because, like you said, everyone's a nationalist, technically.
Right.
For something. For some ideology they have. Like, but you're either a nationalist for the current system or you're a nationalist for the system you want. Either way, you are one.
Right.
But it just depends how much you buy into it and how stupid you are about it, I think.
Yes, I fully agree with all that. It's kind of silly. Just at the end of the day, how how ridiculous, not just like, how ridiculous people on both sides get about their certain issues.
Nice. I like that, like, just slashing the body again.
I know. I'd make sure he was dead.
Yeah, I mean, it's the polar opposites thing.
Well, yeah, and it's like, okay, what? Okay, I guess I'll kill
Do you think the A on my head stands for France?
Yeah, it's just kind of silly. It's like, I think on one hand, like, the people, well, I don't know. I think people are just kind of ridiculous about everything, and I think the cops are people that, for the most part, try to do their jobs.
Yes.
And yes, just there are stupid people, but just like there are stupid people in every profession, there are idiot doctors. I mean, look at, like, Mr. Larry, the dude that was the Olympics.
Or the doctor in The Simpsons.
Yes. Well, Dr. Nick was awesome. But yeah, no, like, look at, there's, like, stupid people in every profession.
Yeah.
You know, there are stupid doctors. There are stupid...
Lawyers.
There are stupid, like, judges. There are stupid... Well, I was going to say politicians, but, like, 99% of them are stupid.
Well,
you know, it's like...
You know what? 99% of politicians are not stupid. They're just hypocrites. They're not actually dumb. They know
Right.
what they're doing.
Right.
That's the difference. But yeah, I mean, like a lot of...
And it's just there are people that abuse their power and abuse
That guy died.
their abilities. How did he die?
He fell in the river.
Pussy.
I guess that killed him.
So yeah, it's like there are people that abuse their power in everything. Like I get really annoyed with the fact when people think like cops are the only people that do it.
No.
And
they're
it's
not.
like, to me, it's like, really? Are you that blind? Like, do you really think that, like, they're the only people that abuse their power? They're no different than anyone else in any other profession. Like, there are people in every profession, even, like, the most random profession ever, where it's like someone's just a dick because they have power.
But I will say, though, that they are...
Oh, whoa, jeez.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
Both of those guys might have died.
Why are they jumping?
I don't know, but two of them died.
What is, like, going on here?
Let's go.
Can we just, like, get to this? One alive!
no.
Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Can we, like, get to this point?
Not Brotherhood being like, you need to get them all back or you don't full sync.
Okay, let's try to make it across this bridge. So yeah, I don't know. I get so annoyed with...
Oh my gosh.
I got like really nervous. I get annoyed with like those people that think like... They think like the cops are supposed to be like robots that
I'm
are just
impressed.
perfection.
I didn't expect
And like they
you to
can never
succeed
make
so quickly.
mistakes. They can never do anything wrong. And it's like... And as
I'll
soon
let
as they make a
Antonio know
mistake,
about
it's
your
like, you're
progress.
done.
Come find me later.
That is
And
silly.
it's-
However, when the mistake ends in people's death, I think
And
it's too much.
I understand that, but then
also
I also don't
human
like
mistakes are different.
I also don't like the other side of it where people are just like, well, how dare you criticize that cop? And it's like, okay, like they're human beings just as much as anyone else is.
I will say, though,
Like,
that
they can be criticized.
the badge and the uniform, and the military uniform as well, they do come with higher standards of behavior that if you're not willing to try and meet,
Well, yes,
you shouldn't take.
Yes, and I fully agree.
And I would argue that people like, for example, Derek Chauvin, despite what you think about everything that happened, I'm not making a joke out of this at all. People like that are kind of a dishonor to the badge. Like, no matter whether you think it was on purpose or just absolute stupidity, you're either that dumb or that evil. And either way, you shouldn't be there. You know, and I do think that they need to be better with all of these professions where people are put in power and have control, whether it's from cop to military to CEO, you know, where like you have these CEOs like banging their secretary and that's the only way for that woman to go up in the company.
Joss Whedon.
Yeah, so when you have stuff like that too, it's like this shouldn't be happening. Like I will say the one thing about cancel culture type stuff that no one thinks about is that it shouldn't even be necessary because human beings should be better than that
Yes.
and hold each other
The men you
accountable
feed will
to
play a
more
vital
of
role
a
in the weeks to come. Just ask for
I don't know,
their help
more of
and
like
they'll
a
join.
Higher standard.
a higher standard of
Ready to bend the
behavior
keys.
that's not
Send them to
perfection.
watch
Like you
group of
said the
guards.
wrong word, now I'll kill you.
Right.
But like,
Opening the way
hey,
for me.
let's be
Exactly.
good people.
Saves me from
Right.
having to blood
And that
with
should
my
be
sword.
fairly simple and not hard.
Right. And I also think the world should just allow people to make mistakes because they're
Yes.
human beings.
But mistakes within reason.
Mistakes within reason. Yes. If it's like
You get someone killed.
Right. Like it is a mistake, but like unless it was something you should have known or something you shouldn't have known really, then it's like I don't really.
Consider it done.
What I'm trying to say
No,
is
I get what you're saying. What you're trying to say is like there are mistakes that can lead to death that are not on purpose or
right.
malicious.
or some,
And
yeah,
then
something
there's-
that you shouldn't have known.
And then there's that,
Right.
which is like you'd have to be either a complete moron or an evil piece of garbage,
Right.
or a mixture. And then there's mistakes too that like even if we believe fully, like the woman who thought her gun was a taser, right?
Yeah.
It's still so incompetent that you shouldn't be there and should face punishment. If I accidentally hit someone while driving, yes, I could get off, but I could also get, not in that way, but I could also get manslaughter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you could get off.
I mean, if I was an awful person, I could also do that. But,
Yeah.
you know, like, you could get manslaughter, too. And it's like, yeah, does that suck? Was it a mistake? Were you trying to kill anyone? No, but there are consequences for your action. One, that person's family no longer has that person. Do you think, like, drunk drivers go out and they're like, I can't wait to hit someone with my car? It's like, no, it's not on purpose, but it's like your actions indirectly led to someone's death still, and there are going to be consequences for your actions. It does not mean that you are a purposeful murderer in that case, but you still did something awful,
Right.
and there are consequences. And sometimes mistakes, like even legitimate ones, still have consequences, and that's okay too. The problem I have with modern day consequences is they're all about not giving someone another chance and ruining their life.
Right.
That's my issue with it. I mean, people can change. Now, I'm not saying things like what just happened we should ignore at all or not punish. I think it's good. Like, we should punish them. But, you know, I think about historical figures, like whether you believe in Christianity or not, but like Paul the Apostle, who went on to spread a lot of hope and goodness in the Middle Eastern area and in Europe. But he was a murderer.
Yeah, he started out murdering the very people that he joined.
And then
Later on.
Then he brought a lot of hope to, like, the people of those different areas. And yeah, like, there was evil that came out of it too. Like, for example, the Catholic Church abusing their power and, like, murdering people later on in the name of God.
Right.
But there was so much good that came out of it, you know, that wouldn't have happened if people hadn't given that guy a second chance.
Right. Right.
I do think that there should be some level of subtlety and semantics to this. Like, that's why not everyone who's accidentally killed someone goes to prison for life and stuff like that, because there are subtleties and grays to morality and situations that are important to look at. Now, this last one, I don't think there really was. It was like just absolute stupidity and negligence. That, you know, the one we were talking about before. But, like, a lot of them, there are honest mistakes that can happen. Like, if you're in the military, there have been cases of someone's gun going off
Right.
and killing someone, and it's not an on-purpose thing. Like, there are technological malfunctions and things that come up that are not foreseeable, and yeah,
It's like it sucks, but
you're not perfect, but there's so many also just cases of stupid negligence that lead to loss of life, like in all of these things that are just not acceptable too.
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, and I think that just in general, people should be like that. That's probably my biggest thing with cancel culture. Actually, is just that people aren't given that second chance for anything. It's literally like, oh, you made one mistake, you said something dumb, you did this thing, you're done. And it's not just like,
And that baseball player, didn't he say the word FAG or something when he was like 15? Or he called something gay or something like that?
yeah, he did.
And people were like,
by
oh, awful.
Which, by the way, everyone said 20 years ago. I'm not saying it's right. I'm
When we
just
were in
saying.
high school in 2012, everybody said things were gay as an insult.
Yeah, like that was just a thing. So
I'm
you're
not
gonna,
saying
are you
it
gonna
was
cancel
okay.
everyone?
Well, no one even thought about it as, like, homosexual people.
No,
it was just a term that everyone used. Now, was it a good thing to, like, be throwing around there? Not really. But it wasn't harmful in the way of, like, making fun of gay people. It was just a word people said. Just like how stupid used to mean someone who had mental handicap issues.
Right, and
You know?
and same with the word like. I'm just gonna say it, retarded.
Okay.
Like people used to just say it as meaning like stupid.
And people have meant it before that by saying something was slowed down.
Right.
Like, even before.
Well, yeah, and even in like the music, even in music, that is an actual like musical term.
Retardando.
Yes. So it's like it means things other than just like making fun of people with mental disabilities.
Right.
And it has meant something in the past other than that. Again, is it right? No. Am I gonna, am I...
Are you gonna head down to, like, the hospital and call some people that?
No, like Michael Scott said in The Office, do you call a retarded person retarded? No. But do you call your friends retarded because they're acting retarded. Yes.
I don't remember that.
I butchered the line, but that's what he
That's
said.
pretty funny.
It's like it means something else, and it has meant something else in the past. And I think it's also kind of disingenuous to be like, oh, well, this person said this thing 20 years ago when that word meant something completely different than it does in 2021. Let's ruin his life.